Uncharted: Drake's Fortune is the first part of a series of games about the adventurer and treasure hunter Nathan Drake. And today we are going to find out, is it worth to play a game that was released in 2007? After all, it's been 10 years!
Buddy, count how many years ago it was!
What? I'm so old.
He's over there!
Uncharted, oh, it was one of my first games on a PS3. I was young back then, I had hair. And I was so amazed about the HD graphics, thinking that it couldn't get any better. What's intriguing is that I really didn't enjoy Uncharted at that time. It was only after a few years, when the second and the third part were released, I decided to give Uncharted another try. And that's when I truly understood it. Listen, first of all, what is Uncharted? Remember the movies or games about Indiana Jones and Lara Croft? Well, Uncharted is their offspring, and I'll explain why in a moment. Also, no spoilers, I'll only share the first steps of the game, just in case there are some of you who still want to play. Fortunately, Uncharted has plenty to talk about besides the plot. And lastly, I took my original PS3 and played Uncharted on it, all for my viewers. But I have no capture card, so I played the PS5 version the second time, just for gameplay footage. The game begins on a boat somewhere near Panama, where Drake is opening the coffin of his long-lost ancestor, Sir Francis Drake, and the charming journalist Elena Fisher is capturing it all on camera. Inside the coffin, they find a diary filled with jokes, sketches, and most importantly, entries from Sir Francis Drake himself. Then they are attacked by pirates.
Pirates?
Pirates?
Not those pirates. There once was a ship that put to sea, the name of the ship was the Bully of Tea. And not those pirates.
GTA 6 download for free without a registration.
No! Modern pirates with guns and rocket launchers. Drake shoots them all down. Then Drake's mentor Sully shows up in a plane and rescues them. After this, Drake and Sully read through the book and realize that they have stumbled upon the trail of El Dorado, the city of gold.
El goddamn Dorado.
And decide to set sail for it. Even though Yelena paid for the entire expedition, the guys decided to ditch her and embark on a romantic journey, just two of them. Bad decision. And finally, the gameplay begins. Essentially, Uncharted is like the Indiana Jones and Tomb Raider franchise. You have to run around various abandoned places and search for clues to ultimately find the treasure. For this, we can move the character forward and backward and up and down. If the legs are responsible for moving forward and backward, then the hands are responsible for vertical movement. This means that Drake will constantly be in situations where he needs to climb, crawl and sneak through various places. It could be a rock, the steep wall of a fort, a rope, jungles, old city ruins, anything. And you always have to navigate through different paths. This is quite interesting, because while cosplaying a monkey, you will not only perform various actions, but also do it in different settings, as a result of which it does not get boring. Drake can climb up and down, jump from ledge to ledge, jump between them, swing and of course fall. And fall again. And fall some more. Here's the first problem with this game. The controls are from 2007. You see, they might have been good back then. But now... For example, you need to jump from one place to another, and Drake might not grab it. Not at all. But then, on try number 3, he gets up just fine. This happens a lot. But still, climbing brings more fun than hurt. And that's not at all. I still recall my experience playing Uncharted on the PS3. And let me tell you, it was tough. Imagine you're walking on a tree over a cliff under enemy fire, and then Drake falls because you tilted the gamepad. Yes! Back then it was so cool to integrate the coolest and the newest feature of gyroscopic controls everywhere. Thanks. Next up, our heroes go to an island, walk through a cave and found out that El Dorado is not a city, but a big gold statue. But the Spanish took it away hundreds of years ago. Now we're following a trail that's 400 years old. Great! I can't even find a phone that I had in my hand 10 seconds ago. And they are going to find a statue that was taken 400 years ago. Then dead Nazis show up, bad guys come along, we run away, and along the way Elena catches us and hit us in the face for leaving her behind.
That's for leaving me at the dock.
Good decision. And here begins the main part of the game, as we fly with Elena to an island where a massive golden statue is hidden. Overall, the story is pretty good, and even though it's not very long, with the game lasting 8 or 10 hours, it's enough. Believe me, those hours will be action-packed, with lots of changes in scenery and gameplay. We've already talked about climbing in this game. But here you can climb not only where the game tells you, but also in other places, where we can find collectible items, which is really nice. But sometimes there are problems with knowing where to go and what to do. Sometimes you just find yourself standing in the middle of a location, not knowing where to go or which ledge to climb. So I would sometimes walk around for several minutes until I figure out what I need to do. On one hand, it's bad, because nowadays developers usually give you clear instructions on where to go. But on other hand, it's great, because it gives me a chance to think and figure out the solution myself. The second part is the combat system, and here the developers may have gone a bit overboard. You can engage in close quarters combat by simply running up to an enemy and pressing the square button 3 times. And you can also use guns to shoot enemies. While the mechanics of close quarters combat are easy to understand, you simply die while trying to reach the enemy. As for long-range combat, things get trickier. In long-range battles, you have 2 types of weapons, one-handed and two-handed, such as pistols and rifles. You can carry only one type of each. The combat system is similar to Gears of War. You need to take cover behind obstacles and shoot enemies from there. But here's the catch. Your enemies seem to have endless ammo, while when you try to pick up ammo from their bodies, they only have a maximum of 10 rounds of an AK at most. I understand why they did this. The developers wanted players to keep moving instead of hiding behind cover. So players have to run around the map, picking up half-empty weapons, firing all the rounds and then searching for new ones, which adds to the dynamic nature of the gameplay. Problem is that all enemies in the game are incredibly tough, requiring you to unload countless rounds before they finally go down. No, listen, you do have the opportunity to pick up more ammo. If you manage to defeat an enemy in close quarters combat using a special combo, you will receive double amount of ammo. The only thing left for you to do is to run toward the enemy shooting at you and die. And grenades! Remember I mentioned that on PS3 they had this cool, trendy, hip gyroscopic feature. Hey. Well, they implemented grenade throwing using gyroscope feature. It was so bad. During gunfights, you have to swing your controller to throw the grenade, only to end up tossing it right under your feet. In essence, this mechanic is quite engaging and doesn't become tiresome. It constantly changes alongside moments of world exploration and rock climbing. Additionally, the game occasionally presents unique situations, such as car chases where you shoot from a machine gun, or riding a jet ski against the current of a river while dodging fuel barrels. Essentially, the developers ensured that the gameplay varies every hour, keeping you entertained. Moreover, in the first half of a game, you battle pirates armed with AKs, while in the second half, you face commandos with more serious weaponry. There are also puddles in the game, but in the first part, they're relatively weak and sparse. One notable example is a labyrinth in which you need to follow passages marked with specific numbers to progress. One aspect that raises some questions is the stark contrast between Drake's lighthearted and humorous personality.
All right, Nate, just pretend for a minute that I don't really care about any of that stuff and cut to the chase, would you?
Man only interested in the climax. He must be a real hit with the ladies.
Never had any complaints.
And the fact that he single-handedly takes on hordes of enemies. In the game, he faces an army of enemies, literally hundreds of them. And Drake managed to kill every single one. I understand why this was done. The game appears to be short, but expensive to produce. And by incorporating these intense battles, the developers try to extend the gameplay duration as much as possible. However, this approach didn't necessarily work in favor of the game. In the end, in my opinion, this game has held up well, even till this day. Well, there are small problems in the gameplay due to its 2007 release. I played it with enjoyment and really recommend it to you. Moreover, it's relatively short and doesn't have times to become tedious with its flows. So go on and jump onto that cliff. Yes, no, grab onto it and your fall. Again. 2007.